Oh, Emma.
Please welcome back Emma Willmann.
Oh, Emma.
You're Emma.
Oh, okay, Emma.
Here we go. Let's get crazy.
Oh, Emma.
Today I'm talking to comedian Mark Norman, comedian and podcaster, and I was listening to an interview with you. Your manager quit show business?
Yeah, wow, you are
What
good.
the fuck? Because I met with that guy, and I always wondered about him. I thought he was really nice. What happened?
6'5", sweet kid, but he just was sick of it. He was like, I'm sick of the emails. I'm sick of the clubs, cleaning up your mess.
He didn't say that.
In the hotel. Oh, yeah, he was, not me, but just the business. He's like, I'm sick of how it runs, and all you comics are all a bunch of whiny artists, twats.
He didn't say that.
Well, in so many words. And he's like, I'm out. I'm like, well, do you want to change positions in the business? And he was like, no, I'm just done with entertainment. And he picked the worst time to skedaddle, I'll tell you that, because things really dried up with the pandemic.
Did you see this coming?
Not at all. Not at all. He's kind of a quiet, stoic Hebe, you know? He just kind of keeps to himself and doesn't really let out his emotions. So I was shocked.
Do you think something happened, or you think he was just like, was there one thing that like went wrong?
I think between you, me, and the anal, I think he was thinking like he would be huge by now. Like one of his clients would have sold a TV show or been a movie star, and none of us really did. So I think he was like, fuck it, this is too much.
That's why people trying to make it in any avenue of entertainment are actually kind of going through similar stuff a little bit. Like it's a grind if you're one of them too. But I met with him and I remember thinking like he seemed like a nice guy.
Great guy. I mean, we were actually friends. We still talk. We're still cool, but we were buddies. Like we would go to lunch together and go to movies and shit and drink. But yeah, I don't know. He got married and he's got a kid on the way, and then he quit. It's kooky.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, a manager right now, not having a manager is not so big of a deal because managers handle all the day-to-day, the hotels, the flights, the itinerary, and I got none of that cooking. None of us do. So I'm saving 10%, if you know what I mean. But things are going well. The special's killing, and got some offers coming in now because of it. Yeah. So
live dates.
Live dates, some TV stuff, some gay porn, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, things are all right. I took a gamble. I rolled the dice, and it actually worked out. So, I could queef easy.
I think you're going to get on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, too. I think people will be more excited about that than, especially, given some of their other people they've had on there, I think. But either way, I think that people would be. My favorite episode of that was Steve Harvey's one. Did you see that one?
Oh, I love that one.
So
Big
good.
Caddy in Chicago. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, and he let his guard down a little bit and was like, there's certain things I can't say because I get paid. And then he went back. He reserved.
Exactly.
Again.
I'm bad news, though. He said, and I read all of Seinfeld's stuff because I'm a big old douche. And he said he's done with the show. He's like, it's over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I was like, damn, right when I befriend the guy, he pulls out of my vagina and jizzes on my stomach.
God.
I know. Brutal.
There was an article or I don't know if it was an article or what it was, but you said, I thought this was really interesting. You said, do you think pedophiles that fuck little girls, wait, first of all, wait, I'm new to doing this. I'll give context for Mark in the intro. I'll give some context.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No. So the quote is, do you think pedophiles that fuck little girls make fun of pedophiles that fuck little boys?
Exactly. Yeah, it's something to think about. They're still, I'm not gay. I'll fuck kids, but I'm not gay,
Right.
Could be a funny character, the homophobic pedophile.
I agree, because I wonder if they are even aware, because if they're aware of them being a pedophile, then they're already they might be like, I'm already a pedophile, who am I to judge others? Or, because it's like, it would give you real insight into the actual pedophile mind if you could figure out what they were thinking around that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'd love to get to know a pedo, because I have nothing to worry about with pubic hair, and really pick his fucked up brain, because I also think it's interesting that this is going to ruffle some feathers, but pedophiles who want to fuck kids who don't, I think are pretty cool. Like, that's pretty heroic. They didn't choose to want to fuck them. And if they're not doing it, then what a hero. This guy's a cool dude, if you ask me.
Yeah, they're going against that, natural impulse.
Yes, yes. I mean, I wouldn't let them take my kids camping or be a
Right.
cub master, but hey,
I saw
you know.
I saw a documentary on pedophiles where these two guys got castrated and they did it voluntarily, and they were like, I didn't want to have the urge to have sex with kids anymore. They both got in trouble. They were in jail. But they were like,
Oh,
this
wow.
changed my life. They're like, because the urge to have sex with kids was overpowering everything I did, and now I don't have that urge.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. What are they in jail for?
Pedophilia.
Oh, so they did. Oh, I didn't know they did it.
Shoplifting. They got him for
Yeah.
that, and then once they were in there, they came out with the whole
I
pedophilia
see.
shtick.
I thought they cut the twigs and berries pre-kid diddle. I didn't know they already did it.
That's the thing. I think it's probably also the way society is. We make it so that there's no way they can really talk about it if they do want to
Right.
curb that impulse.
Exactly.
You know?
We gotta loosen up a little bit on the pedo desires.
Yeah, or that maybe there's some way to like hire a sex worker to pretend to be younger.
Oh, I think midgets. Send a midget in.
Mm.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. I saw something where you talked about the first time you had sex, but what was the first, like, do you ever have a memory of the first porn that you saw?
Oh, I actually do. Wow, I do. Hold on, there's people going by. I don't want to scare anybody, but yeah, I was at my friend's house, Jean. He was a French kid. A lot of French people in New Orleans.
I'm in Louisiana right now, by the way.
What? What are you doing there? Is that a White Claw? Oh no. Okay, sorry. I'm craving a White Claw. It's a beautiful day out here in Manhattan. But what are you doing in L.A.?
I was in Los Angeles, and then my girlfriend is from here. She's from Slidell, and she has an Airbnb. Yeah, she has an Airbnb that she rents out here. When she lost her house in Katrina, she's like, I never want to be homeless again. So we drove here, but about an hour into the car ride, I said that I'm not stable enough, emotionally stable enough to be in a relationship. So I said that the first hour into the drive from LA. So it was a doozy.
Holy hell. That's a sitcom right there.
Yeah. But we made up.
Man.
I'm like and then so I'm here and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's hot as balls, isn't it? It's wet and sticky down there. It's wet county. It's a wet market.
It's so affordable though. Like you can have a nice house. It's
so cheap. Yeah, so cheap. Not much crime. Slidell's kind of a nice sleepy suburb. I have some family out there.
Yeah, it's cute. There's a guy across the street that's a little sketchy, but other than that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get some real coon asses, some fisherman type with no teeth.
What's a CONS? Is that?
It's a white guy, but it's basically like a rednecky.
Oh, thank God.
It's like a swamp redneck, like.
I didn't know that was a white guy. I thought it was like Asian or something.
No, not Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana, it's a bunch of honkies with really thick tans, and they speak broken slang, French, Ebonic kind of speak. It's pretty fascinating.
It is. I agree. So your first porn, you're with your buddy Jacques.
Jean.
Yeah.
Jean. I was with my friend Jean, and his mom had armpit hair, the whole thing. It was so French. They would smoke all day and paint. And one time he was like, I found this video my dad had. He popped in the VCR, and it was from the 70s clearly, and it was.
Oh, his dad had, not of his dad. Okay.
No, had a video. I think that's how most kids in my day in the early 90s figured this shit out, and he popped it in, and it blew my mind. I think I saw it too early. I was probably like 11, 12. And holy hell, this guy had a huge dong, a young guy, like a young 70s guy with like blonde, flowy hair. And he plowed this gal and in a bedroom. And I'd never seen anything like it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I jerked it to it for like 5 years after.
So you liked it right
I have
away.
it in my brain. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was jarring, but it was like a car crash where you're like, this is crazy, but I can't stop looking. Or jerk
Did you
off.
go look up more porn after that, or was that like because you didn't have the internet, so I don't know how many times you can watch porn with your friend too.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Like we all got into it. We all found tapes. There were tapes in the woods. There was this beach out there with these rocks, and if you undid the rocks, there was a bunch of Playboys under it.
Whoa.
And it was amazing. And you get so hooked, and there's different kinds of porn. You start learning about the different fetishes, like the MILF and the Asian and the black on anal and all this. And
even before
we'd pass
internet?
these tapes around. What's that?
Before internet, they had all those categories that you could like look around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had like big booty hoe and all this
Yep.
shit. So like you just took what you had. Like you couldn't pick what you wanted, but you tried a little everything because why the hell not?
Did you get caught with the porn at all?
I got caught rubbing one out once by my dad. It was one of those bad ones where you really prepare for it, like you light a candle, you close the blinds.
Treat yourself right.
I said a prayer. I was stretching, and he caught me mid-act. And I remember he looked at the porn. It was MILF porn. And I figured, well, if he's going to catch me, at least he understands this because he's banging a mom himself.
Right.
So that was that. But getting caught by a guy, I don't think it's as bad as he gets it. If my mom would have just keeled over and, had a miscarriage.
Were your parents like hippies? I've heard the stories about the house in New Orleans, the dilapidated mansion, as you said, but I couldn't tell if they were more like hippie style or I couldn't get a read on that.
Yeah, totally. Like they both from Louisiana, but during the baby boomer 70s and 60s, they went to San Francisco and lived as hippies, and they lived all over the world in Germany and all these places in France. And they were freewheeling, like they had strict parents, military, the whole thing. So they broke loose, and they're still pretty, when I told them I want to be a comic, they're like, yeah, go nuts, give it a shot. You only live once. So they were a little aloof and checked out, but in a way that helped me because I could do whatever the hell I wanted.
Yeah. Actually, that sounds kind of like my parents because my parents grew up with really strict parents, and then they moved to like rural Maine, and they had to have been high the whole time because my dad built like a dome and lived off the grid, and then my mom had a blueberry farm.
Wow. Yeah. Come on.
They were stoned out. They had to be like super, but they weren't as aloof as. I mean, so that was true that people would come in and steal stuff from your house?
Oh yeah, all the time because they're so progressive. They're so like liberal.
That's
that they
crazy
were, like,
though.
Yeah, no, it was horrifying, especially when you got two young kids at the house.
They could have taken you.
I know, or at least it killed. I've walked in on a few robberies. I mean, it was bad news bears, and I grew up just horrified constantly. Like, am I going to get beat up? Am I going to get killed at night? Am I going to lose my car, my TV? My parents going to get killed? So. We had this house alarm that would go off, woo, 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 and it would just go off at like 2 a.m. And you're like, well, somebody's in the house. Here we go. And you just talk about it over breakfast.
I was thinking that since that sounds so chaotic, and then obviously going from that to comedy so chaotic, that is almost this time of, and I relate to that because my childhood was very chaotic, not with break-ins, but I just never had like a stable living environment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like is with Corona now, is this like the first time you've been like really forced to just stop because you can't?
Completely. And it's killing me. It's not my cup of jizz. I like to keep it moving. I like adventures. I like shaking it up. I like traveling. I like seeing new things and meeting people and getting drunk and cutting a rug. And I feel like a caged Wolverine. It's brutal. I'm like those whales you see at SeaWorld. My fin is flipped. I'm my dorsal fin or whatever the hell. It's not pointing straight up anymore.
Are you with your girlfriend?
Yeah, she's in the house too, and it's a tiny shoebox of an apartment.
Yeah.
And we're trying to we do like shifts. She's like, I'm gonna go walk around, and I'm like, oh, I get the place to myself. And then later I'm like, I'm gonna go jerk off in a tree. She's like, oh, I get the place, So we're trying to make it work.
Are you guys squabbling?
Oh yeah. There's the tense moments But at the end of the day, it's kind of like Wilson with the volleyball. Like I'm yelling at it, but then if it drifts away, I'm like, wait, where you going? I need you. There's no one else here.
Totally.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of porn too. Or I did. I don't so much anymore. Although when I saw your interview with the King and the Sting, or the Brink Sting and the Bee or whatever, but they said I never used to listen to podcasts. Now I just do it if I'm trying to do like research, but.
Yeah.
Brian Callen said he didn't watch any porn. I was shocked. I
couldn't believe that.
Almost suspicious. I don't know him at all, but that was almost suspicious in my book.
Well, I know a lot of straight guys, not a lot, but there's a handful who hate porn. Joe List does not watch porn. He's like, I feel disconnected. I get nothing out of it. It's just too strange. I'm like, that's the cool part. You don't know them. It's randos naked.
That I believe, saying he feels disconnected. That actually does make a little bit of. I don't know why someone would that does make more sense than just like denying watching it. That I can understand that a little bit.
Yeah, but Callan's an odd duck. I mean, I know he's a sexually accelerated guy.
Sure.
Like I know he likes to bone and all that, and he's a sexy kickboxing lunatic. But yeah, I think some guys just aren't into it. It's some guys like the hunt, and there's no hunt with porn. It's just boom, takeout.
It's probably a sign of like mental health on his part, actually. If he,
Maybe.
Have you ever watched a porn that you like? If you could have picked one porn that you could take back, I've got a porn. I watched this porn a couple times. I always like watching porn. The hottest thing to me is desire. So it doesn't matter what they look like. It's if it's the girl really wants it. And I watch straight porn. I watched this porn with this like 400-pound woman. She was huge. No, wait, I'm sorry. 400-pound guy. He was so big. He had to lift his stomach up, giant stomach. The girl was like putting it up, and she had to like move on his dick. And he was talking really dirty to her, like you slut, you still need this cock, even though like I look like this. And I liked it when I watched. Wow. No, when I watched it, I did just because it was so dirty. But ever since then, I've regretted it, and I wish I could get that out of my. I wish if I could take any porn back, I wish I could take that back. Have you ever had a porn you wish you could take back?
Yeah, wow, that's a doozy. Also, I gotta say, I noticed all the women I know, the straight women, they love lesbian porn.
Yeah, why?
They don't even like regular porn. Because they're like, women are so beautiful. Women are so. I think because porn is very male geared. I mean, it's just some guy like pounding away on a girl and choking her, and she's gagging and tearing up, and makeup's running. I think the women on women is just like, all right, Jesus, slow down. I'm just trying to have some smooth jazz here. I don't need some death metal.
Right. I know, but it's still weird to want to watch some. Well, I guess because I like watching straight porn. Even sometimes I'll watch gay guy porn.
Oh, wow.
I know it's weird, but it's not. I'm not into their bodies necessarily at all.
Yeah.
But I like that they're like so into each other. Like I like the dirty talk exchange.
Right. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, the dirty talk is hot. I'm not good at it because I'm too insecure and in my own head. But boy, sometimes when I'm drinking.
Yeah, actually, I used to be really. When I said me neither, I don't know why I said that. That used to be one of my skills. I used to be really good at that.
I could see that. You got to twist a little noggin up there. I could see some dirty thoughts coming out of that head. But what was the question?
Yeah, the porn. If you could take one back, take a porn back.
Totally. Well, I had a porn tape. One of the tapes that went around. It was a bright orange VHS tape, and it said "Porno Bizarro." That was the title, and it was all these like freak show kind of porns. Like one was a lady with no teeth, and she would blow all these guys, take her teeth out. One was a lady with 3 clits.
No way.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, she was wild.
And you could see him. That was for real.
She showed him to the camera and then just banged like 8 guys. She's like, I'm so horny all the time. One was a tall woman banging a midget. One was a lady who would eat a ton of jizz, like a guys would jizz on a piece of bread. And she would eat it, and it was a little much for my young eyeballs. But that I wish I could take back because one, there was a big, large black fellow who banged a gal in the ass, and you could see blood dripping down because it was too stretchy. And I was like, this is too much. What am I doing here? I got to go play wiffle ball.
Yeah, when you see something that actually is like scarring, then it's it doesn't sit well for a while. And then that you finish watching it. Do you remember if you jerked off to it?
Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah. See, that's where it becomes like a tricky question with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had one eye open kind of thing, like
totally.
Oh boy. And I knew it was wrong, but it's all you had. It's kind of like eating a rat. When you're out in the forest, you don't want to eat a rat, but it's like, that's all I got. I don't want to die out here.
Do you usually bring up porn with women that you're dating? Do they know that you watch it a lot?
I mean, I'm slowing down quite a bit because I can't get any alone time here.
Right.
But I was a daily. I'm not like a porn nut where I got to watch it 8 times a day. But I put it on for 30 seconds, do the deed, and then I was done. I wasn't like a connoisseur.
Right.
But I tell gals eventually, and I think most women realize that men we're just horny animals who got to get this devil seed out of us every 24 hours, or we'll shoot up a school. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So
I think that I used to use it as a way to suss out if someone seems sexually open-minded. Like I'd say, "Oh, I watch too much porn," and then if they would go, "Oh, what do you?" If they were like into it, I'd be like, "Oh," and that would be like an in. But if they were like, "Ew, porn," then I would think, "Ah, no, I can't."
I'm with you. Yeah. I still, even if you don't watch it a lot, even if somebody's like, "Oh, that's too weird, I hate it," I'm like, grow up, shut up,
Yeah,
get a life. So yeah, I don't need you to be an expert, but if you hate it and think it should be taken away, then I'm like, you're no fun.
I agree. If this question is inappropriate, then I'll move it right along. But what was the first time that you ate ass? And I'm asking because, so when you said you were talking about how you ate the ass in Wisconsin and then you got sick, and then I watched the clip and you did look really puffy. You looked like
I was a mess.
Yeah, you looked like you were like your face looked like you're the face of a chubby person.
Right.
You looked like very, very inflated.
I was ill. I was very ill. I mean, I had to go to the hospital multiple times. I had to take these certain antibiotic shits and all these things. And I had the distended belly too. Like, I'm a skinny guy, but I had this like African donate 5 cents a day for Pikachu or whatever.
Yeah, all those kids are out there eating ass. All those hungry kids are out there eating ass before they get the $1 a day. They're hungry.
They probably, they're starving, whatever it takes. But so I was sweaty. I remember I was pissing, like my piss was like thick and gross and like fucking pancake batter. And I was shitting water. It was a horrible time. I was so ill. I didn't know what I had. I had this crazy virus. But I started eating it. I guess I got single. I was with a girl for like 12, 13 years. High school sweetheart, moved to New York together.
12, 13 years?
Yeah, something like that.
That's amazing.
The one, after a while, we probably should have ended after 7 years, but you're
that's
just so
a long
comfortable.
Time.
Yeah, but it just became comfort, and this is what I do now. It's almost like I live in this house, I don't want to move, so I'll just stay here forever, kind of thing. And I got out of it. We had a big breakup. It was ugly, therapy, the whole thing. And
mutual? Was it mutual?
Somewhat, but I think we both knew deep down, but it was just like cutting a leg off that had gangrene.
Yeah.
It had to be done, and it's going to be painful, but it has to be done.
12 years. That's
I know.
You should be proud of yourself for doing that, though. I mean, 12 years, like that shows like a lot of ability to be in a relationship.
Sure. I mean, it's mostly laziness and cowardliness. Like I didn't want to pull the trigger. I thought about it constantly. Right. But and it's just easy. It's just like routine after a while. You're like, this is my gal. This is where we live, and I know your mom, so let's just hang out. Right. Yeah. But we both knew it was over. But I got out of that. We break up. It was ugly, and I just went on this boozy to like toot all over town. I went hard. I was on a bender every night. And Tinder was new, Bumble was new, J-Day was new, and I wanted adventure. I was on the prowl. I was in heat, and I tried every. Oh, J-Day was. I put in the comments, willing to convert, and the fucking thing lit up like a Christmas tree.
That should have been your name on there. Like, willing to convert.
Willing to convert, Berg. Yeah.
Was it the girl's idea the first time, or were you like, "Hey, let's try this"?
No, I was just in the heat of the moment. I flipped her over and put a napkin in my shirt and went to town. I just, you're in the passionate, in the zone. So I just tried everything with women.
Wasn't gonna. Yeah. I wouldn't. I felt like that was when I first started doing butt stuff. It was someone else like brought it to my attention or said they wanted it. But then I felt for a long time that was like my signature move to help me stand out from other lovers was that I would go for that so quick.
Right. Yeah.
But then I had a girl that didn't like it.
Yeah, that happens. But
I went for it too fast. I remember we were making out, and then I went right in to grab her butt, start pulling the butt, and then she went, "Whoa, what are you doing? We have to talk about that first." And then I felt kind of embarrassed, and I was like, "You're right. I'm sorry." Did you ever have someone where they were like, "Hey"?
Oh yeah, many times. And I think some people actually do like it, but they just feel so weird about it, they just cut it off quick. But most people enjoy it, I think. 90%, I'd say, especially a tongue. I mean, if you're putting a universal remote in there, you're going to have a problem. But a tongue is fun anywhere almost. I can put a tongue between my toes and I would enjoy it.
I was trying to tell people that when I'm like, you don't just go if you're, I always say a penis, if you're a penis man, if you're someone that has a penis, like I would hope you wouldn't just go right for the penis in the butt. You'd do like your hand and tongue. And then if someone won't put their tongue or hand in your butt, then they shouldn't be able to put their penis in your butt. So they got to.
I completely agree.
Like that's horrific. It's too big or too much of a.
Yeah, it's a blunt object coming out of nowhere. And it's dry and it's hard and scary. Yeah, no, that's crazy if a guy does that. That's a little almost aggressive and creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, tongue seems to be fun times for everybody.
What do you say if you? I always wondered this about because I feel like if I was a guy, if I had a penis, that I would come too fast, and I always wonder about. Well, yeah, but I always wonder when women get mad at that. That seems like a very mean thing to get mad about. What do you say if that happens?
Oh, well, it's happened many times, but I try to go the flattery route, and then I'm very big on hold on, let me make up for it in other ways. Let's go again. I'll buy you lunch. Like I do the eat out quite a bit.
You lunch.
I'm doing the finger, the eat out. I'm doing a neck massage, and then give me 20 minutes and I'm back in it.
Why do people get mad about that?
I think it's because it's a frustration thing. I think women are very pent up and they can't really express themselves sexually, and they're finally in this moment where they're in the heat of it, and then it just goes away. So I think it's frustrating. I get it. But I haven't had a lot of women. I've had women be like, "Oh, come on," but I haven't had a woman like, "You fucking asshole, get out of here." That when you can't get it up, that's when they flip.
Oh, you know what? I was kind of picturing that as the same thing. But yeah, if you come too fast, it means like I'm too excited. But if you can't get it up, that's because usually someone's stressed or nervous, I would imagine.
Completely, and a lot of women take it personally. And is it me? Did I do something? It's 99.9% of the time, it ain't you. Ladies should all know that it's us. And I get that you're hurt by it, but it's our brain, it's our insecurity, it's our evil thoughts. It's not you.
It could be like you could really like someone too, and then be like,
yes,
I don't want to fuck this up,
Yes, between us, I've never told anybody this, but I was madly in love with this gal, and I couldn't get it up around her, and she was like, "What's going on?" And it ruined the whole relationship. I was doing Viagra. I didn't know what to do, but then I'd go on the road, and I was like a porn star because I didn't care.
You would take Viagra?
Yeah, just because I was so nervous about. I liked her so much, and couldn't get it going, and I just did what I had to do. I was like 28.
Did she know you were taking it?
No way. I hid that shit like a drug addict.
I wonder, did she ever find out?
No. She'll hear this eventually, probably. But I mean, I'm good now. I'm back to normal. But yeah, those were tough times. I just would keep one in my pocket in case I saw her.
I saw someone, I forget, I think it was Judd Apatow, and he talked about taking Viagra, and he was like, he talked about taking it, getting a boner, and then his wife didn't want to have sex. And he was like, I didn't anticipate for this. And then it's like his kid comes in the room and is like, let's watch Toys R Us or whatever. And then he's like, now I'm in bed watching fucking,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great bit.
Yeah. I like
on stage.
Yeah, he is. I always liked his opening bit. I forget. He would talk about, I thought it was really smart. He talked about how he was just famous enough that if someone would go, "Are you Judd Apatow?" And he went, "No," they'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then they could keep it. I like the way that he opened. I like the way that he opened that.
That's really funny. That's like Galifianakis's, where somebody would go up to him and go, "No offense, but you look like Zach Galifianakis."
Right. And he's like, he hasn't done comedy in forever.
No, I mean, he's a zillionaire movie star now. So comedy, people don't realize how hard stand-up is. And he would have to like give up his whole movie career and just focus on, it's like ice skating. You got to get up at 6 a.m. You got to do the work. You got to go out to the rink. Nobody wants to do that. They want to sit in Malibu in a rocking chair by the beach.
I think too, it's like, no matter how famous you are, comedy's always equalizer. So you will have bad shows.
Oh.
So why would you want to put yourself through that? If you don't have the burning desire to be doing that, then why would you want to put yourself through that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I totally agree. And
Yeah.
I think people have kids now. It's almost like boxing where you got to like
it's
go to
totally
the
like
gym.
boxing.
Yeah, and you're gonna get humiliated. You got to lose. You
Right.
got to go to the gym. You got to train, and you got to get back in fighting shape and all that. And a lot of people don't have it in them. They're like older now. They're like 50 something, and they got other career paths because stand up is it's all or nothing. You know.
Did you see the fight with Anthony Joshua and then and then Andy Ruiz? Andy Ruiz was the big guy. It was the huge upset. Did you watch the? That's what got me into start watching boxing. I cried actually.
Oh really?
When Andy Ruiz won, because I was a chubby kid, so when he won, I felt like it was like a testament to like chubby people all over the world that if you work hard, you can achieve your dreams.
Yeah.
But then
I
he
did watch that.
lost.
I know. But he had his moment in the sun, you know. He had 10 minutes of glory.
It was a disgusting loss because
it was.
All he needed to do was train for that. But that reminds me of where that makes a parallel to comedy in my brain because it was like he was coasting and then he.
Yeah.
You know, with no excuse.
It's the great American way. I mean, Ronda Rousey was like lauded as the most coolest, busting ass killer, female fighter of all time, and then she just went, and we love that in America. We love that rise, and then we love that big fall, you know. And Ruiz, he should have waited. He should have just owned that belt for like a couple of years and then lost. He didn't have much time in the middle.
Yeah, give yourself a minute. People love the redemption too. If you can come back. True. And you have to have a spin on it. You got one or two of these where you say, I got sober. You can say that. Or I found God. Or I have cancer.
Right.
Those are
that's true, yeah.
You know, those are the times that like where it's like
weight loss is a big one too. Like I was 800 pounds and I lost it all. Look at me now. And people go, holy shit.
Huge.
Yeah. That's true. I think that's a big reason. Like Sam Morrill, he's got this brilliant stand-up special out. He's one of the best joke writers ever. And I think a big part of the appeal, I mean, not only that it's fucking hilarious, is that he was like this underdog. Nobody would buy it. Netflix.
Oh yeah, of course.
It. And that helps. And fuck it, if they're not going to book these guys, then use that.
Absolutely. I mean, that was what you know, it's always like the group of people that doesn't fit in or whatever, because everyone kind of feels like that. Even probably the person that has had the most things is like, well, I got the most things, but I'm not the best. I'm a hedge fund manager, but his dad owns the company and my dad doesn't own it, but he's high up and I'm not. Everyone feels like the underdog in some way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Even though he really was the underdog, and that he really was too in that situation.
He really was because he's so good and he couldn't catch a break and
crazy. I didn't know if that was a ruse when I didn't know if it was like a thing to say, oh, I got passed on it, but someone really wanted to put it out themselves. I didn't know. So with him, I believed it, but it's just, it's unbelievable.
Well, he's the full package because some people put it out and they go, hey, I'm getting screwed or snubbed by all these networks. I'm putting it out myself. And you go, yeah, but you actually suck.
You suck. You know? And then it's like some shitty production. He put out a great production.
Right. He's a good comic and it's a good production and it's a good product. So yeah, he's the real deal. But there's a lot of people trying to jump on that underdog bandages. So.
Why? Also, it's not like it was be that harmful for them to put their name on it. Like, what's the worst case? I bet they could have given undercut it and say, hey, we'll give you $50,000, wait, like less than we normally do or whatever. And we're just going to it's like, you don't even want to put your name on it. What are you?
I know. And I mean, I could talk about this shit all day, but hey, we're cheap as shit. Like,
exactly.
You give Seinfeld $20 million or Chappelle $20 million. I'd do it for $200K. I'd do it for $100K. I'd do it for $50K. You know? I just want the exposure. I just want a little payment for the hard blood, sweat, and jizz I put into this thing. And also, they're so star fuckery that they're like, but we can't have some no-name guy on our network. It's like, yeah, but you could also be known as the people who were smart enough and had the vision and the wherewithal to see this talent that no one else did and break him.
And then you could bury it. You don't even have to promote it.
I know.
You don't even have to. You could even pop, put it down. You don't even have to stand behind it. Like
then you get the best of both. Then you get the credit for putting them on, and you don't have to spend money on promotion and advertising.
Yep. What was the worst meeting? What was the worst general meeting you ever went on? Oh no, that or what was your worst audition?
Oh geez. Well, I got to be honest. I gave up auditioning like 5 years ago because they've been so bad. My worst audition ever. I was in LA. It was one of these horrible auditions. It's in the middle of nowhere. It takes you 8 hours in traffic, you know. And I finally get there. I'm a little late, and it's on the studio lot. So you're looking for the bungalow number 4G, and you're running up and down. You got the shitty map in your hand. You're sweating. I finally get there.
Those studio lots, what Mark is referencing is you go into these studios, and first of all, they have tons of different entrances, but also all the buildings look the same. That's part of their thing. It's like this form look. So they all look the same, and then they're all numbered in a way unique to that studio with entrance A, B, C, D, whatever. The parking's very complicated, and then you go in and you get a map unique to that studio, and it's impossible to tell where you're going.
It's impossible. It's horrible. And, you know, you got to be there by 1 p.m. You woke up at 11. The whole thing's stressful. And you never memorize the lines, by the way. And so I go in, and they're like, okay, so the story today is that you're watching the Super Bowl with your dad, and your teams are playing. You're very excited. You love your dad. And he has a heart attack next to you. And, you know, you're freaking out. And he dies and all this. And I'm like, holy hell, you know, I'm a comic, right? I'm not Daniel Day-Lewis, but fuck it, I'll give it a whirl. Robin Williams made some good movies. So I'm sitting there, and this guy is playing my dad on a couch, and he goes, oh, and I go, oh, Dad, what the hell's going on? You son of an onion. I can't believe you're dying. This is crazy. Oh, geez. And they kicked me out.
Fuck those guys.
I mean, I was horrible, but that's not my wheelhouse.
I wish I had the strength to say no to auditions, though. I mean, that's hard to do because actually I was talking about it with my therapist the other day because I was like, I hate this and I don't feel like I'm getting better and I don't think it's a good use of my time. And she was like, well, why do you keep doing it? And I was like, I can't say no. I can't say no. I get pushed back. So that is good for you that you took that bet on yourself to say no to it.
Yeah, well, I noticed that everybody getting stuff was either an amazing actor, had a good look, or knew a guy. Like, oh, you're already Aziz, so we'll book you. You know, I had no juice, I had no name, I had no look. I'm a skinny white guy. I'm a dime a dozen. So, yeah, they didn't want me. But I just said, fuck it. I've never gotten anything out of this, and it takes your whole day, and it takes your whole night memorizing it.
Absolutely. And then you're Ubering over there. Same with the general meetings. The people get paid. They're getting paid to still sit there. But then you gotta. That's why I hope everything goes to Zoom. Have you had what was your worst general meeting?
Oh, geez, I've had so many bad generals, but the worst are the pitches. I've pitched like 15 shows in my 14-year career here, and I've had some good pitches where I was like, we sold it, I swear to God.
Sure.
And then I've had some pitches where I'm like, I think they're going to call security. They want us to leave so bad. I did a pitch once where it was for Netflix. I was trying to sell a show, and we were trying to get the video to work, like on the PowerPoint, their screen or whatever. Yeah. And we had some visual aids. And I was like, all right, here we go. And it was just, all you could see was like a black guy and the ceiling fan. And I was like, oh, it's Kevin Hart's sex video. You know, I was trying to make jokes. And the guy was like, oh, Kevin Hart, can you believe what he's going through right now? And I'm like, I can't believe he has 6 specials. The guy sucks. You know, I'm just trying to be folksy and fun in the room. Time. And the guy goes, oh, well, you know, he has 6 specials on this network, and I produced them all. And I was like, well, I'm just fucking around, you piece of shit. Yeah, I love Kevin Hart.
Eddie Murphy. I meant Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was bad. And then I had to do the pitch after that.
What happened to the show? What happened to the travel show about comedians going to different cities doing open mics? How far did you get on that?
We got pretty far on the actual on the pitch. Like, we had the pitch down, we had all these visual aids, we had all these templates and write-ups and everything, and we would go into these rooms, and it was really right when everybody was like sick of white guys, and it was me and Joe List in this room. And
when was that? Was it like 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 years ago. We had our podcast, we had a good rapport going, and people were like, producers were listening to it like, this is funny, we could do something with these guys. So we made this travel show, and we thought it was pretty good. And yeah, I think everybody was like, we don't need this, who cares? And I kind of agree, because we have so much stand-up stuff on TV, and I think people are done with stand-up stuff for a while.
Yeah, and the story would maybe get repetitive if it was about open mics. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe not if you put, maybe not. I don't know. It would totally depend. Like any show that's reality and travel, it would be on the editing and then the product. I mean, did you see the show Too Hot to Handle? Have you seen that?
I have not. I keep seeing it on my Netflix. Is it good?
I really liked it. It's just amusing. But when I was watching it, I was like, these producers created something out of nothing. They kept like pushing a storyline that was a lot of it. If someone's got a little bit to work with and it's a good production team, then they can make,
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Was there a point that was like a definitive thing that actually happened when this tide shifted, where they were like, we gotta get more inclusion in here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, I'm for affirmative action, but it does a disservice to minorities if they're choosing people who are too green. It only works if the candidate is 100% qualified, which is the case. That's how affirmative action works. Person 100% qualified, only reason they wouldn't get it is for this reason, so we're going to take that into account. But if then you pick people that aren't qualified and put them up, then the whole thing is inflamed.
I completely agree, and I think we get so hung up on the basics of it, like, hey, we need more black people. It's like, okay, yeah, great, I'm all for that. I love diversity. I love all this. I grew up watching black comics and female comics and whatever the hell. I don't give a shit as long as it's funny. Right. And there's plenty of funny black women, gay, whatever. So just book them.
Totally.
The fact that you're going off of their identity politics only, that's the offensive part. Like, you just brought it all back to racism again, like, oh, this is a black guy, put him on. Well, have you watched the set? Who cares? Look at his skin color. He's got pigment, baby. Yeah. Fuck pigment. How about punchlines?
They also sometimes I've noticed it'll be a person who is a minority but is a non-threatening minority. And that's where I'm like, no. If you actually pick someone that challenged your, like, I always thought, I really like Akash Singh, and I was like, I think it'll take him longer to get traction, but when he does, because he doesn't back down from being, he's like, no, I'm pro-Indian. He's like pro-Indian. So it's going to take longer for people in power who might be like, oh, I don't know about that. They want someone that's like, I'm Indian, but I'm not this type of Indian. Right. If he's like, I'm pro-Indian, it'll take longer, but then it'll resonate more because it's refreshing.
Completely. He's a killer, and he's going to make it on his own because he's got no filter, and I like watching his stuff.
Me too.
It's not just, hey, my dad works at a 7-Eleven and I'm a terrorist. Whoa. Right. It's like, what? Shut the fuck up. That's so hacked now. Yeah. And, but he's just like, here's a good point about this. And it's just real comedy. Whereas those industry suits, all they do is go, yeah, well, he's brown and his dad wears a turban. That's funny. Let's use that. Right. Put that in the show. It's like, wait, what the fuck are we doing? Right. I don't know. It's all these people preach is, we got to be inclusive. We got to be open-minded. We got to let everybody in who's different. But then they don't let anybody in who's different than they think.
Yeah, like, it's on their terms. It's like different on my terms. And it's like, but who are you? Guess what? We fucking know that probably you're a straight white person. If you've been in the rooms, you're like, you're the ones picking it. That's why you're picking someone that still appeases you. So then it cosigns you actually being problematic.
Right. They're just discriminating again in a different way. That's all it is. And they can't even see that. And you go on these meetings and it's all honkies. Right. You're like, well, I thought you guys were so pro-diversity until it comes to your gig. Right. Yeah.
Was there a moment though? Like, was there some court case or something, or the tide just shifted? Because I remember, but it wasn't part of the conversation when I started comedy.
No, it wasn't. It was just funny. I look at old lineups now. I'm like, Jesus, there's a lot of white guys on here. We're going to get in trouble. And I'm like, this is 06.
I've noticed, I'll look at the Comedy Store sometimes, and I'm like, wow, the thing that hit New York didn't necessarily hit there. Because I'm like, all straight white guys. I was like, I didn't even know they could do that.
I know. And they don't
Not that I think they should necessarily, but yeah.
They get a lot of shit. They get a lot of flack for that, but they're selling tickets. They're
sure.
Look, we can put on
it's working.
The trans lady in the wheelchair, but she doesn't know anybody. We don't give a fuck. Ali Wong, please. Whitney Cummings, please. Liza, get up there. Or whoever the fuck. Kevin Hart. Right. They don't care about the color. They just want to sell tickets. And look at their lineups. It's Rogan, Sebastian, Crystalia, Kreischer. These are huge theater acts, arena acts even.
Yeah, that's the first place I saw Joey Diaz too, which was fun to watch.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, big fan. That guy can talk. I love his pods.
I never listened to it, but I would like to because I loved his I loved his comedy. I was like kind of tuned out, and then I heard him talking about. He actually said the word faggot, and I was like, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. So I was like, I was just curious. I'll use that word too. What he said, and he was like talking about being at a gay bar and faggots, but the whole story was really fun. It was a really good story, but that is real like talent to.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a guy can weave a yarn like nobody else, and he's got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about the whole diversity thing is,
Please.
A friend of mine is a Black gentleman, and he got approached by Comics for Diversity or whatever the hell that is, or NBC.
Yeah.
NBC Diversity, whatever it is, Stand Up for Diversity. That's it. And he was like, "Oh, sure, hey, TV, I'm in." But then they were like, "Yeah, we need more Black guys or whatever." And he was like, "Whoa," and he pulled out because he's like, "I don't want to be your Black comic. I want to be a comic. I don't want to. If you're booking me for that, then screw you." And it was a whole thing. So that's why I find offensive. I'm with him.
Yeah. Also, it's like, why do you need to have that little subset? Why don't you change their overall structure of your fucking programming so you don't have to have that?
Right. You know? And then we draw these weird lines where a Jewish friend of mine's like, "I'm going to do it. I'm Jewish. We're 6% of the country, 6%." And they were like, not diverse enough. You still look kind of white. And he's like, "What are you kidding? My family was slaughtered and they'll get the camps. So, I can't throw a ball. I got allergies. Hell, throw me a bone here." Yeah.
It'd kind of be like if I was like, well, I'm really open to having Black people at my house on Tuesdays. And you're like, why Tuesdays? Why wouldn't you just change the structure of how you're running your house? You don't have to have a special like discount day. So there was no lawsuit or thing that pushed the whole thing over, because there was a distinct moment where all of a sudden it was like, pah.
I think it was a combination of things. I think it was like Ferguson, the Baltimore riots, and then Trump winning. And I think that was like it just pushed it all over.
It wasn't before that?
Everybody was angry. And then the Harvey stuff and the Cosby stuff and the Louie stuff. So it was just a combination of like, these white guys are evil and they're not very popular right now and we don't want to be part of it. Which I get it. But,
I thought it was before that. It was after Trump?
I think Trump was just a part of it. I think it was an accumulation.
Right. Yeah, I just have a distinct memory. I mean, it's tricky too, because sometimes I had a really awful college show for a reason that I caused. I said the R word on stage at the college, and I got in trouble. And at the time, I was like, fuck these guys. I didn't say. I actually said it a few times, and it was part of a joke. And then I was like, fuck these guys. And then I was thinking about, I was like, I'd rather have them get upset that I said the word retarded than have them be like, yeah, fuck those people. And so I didn't mind that they held me accountable on that.
Sure. Yeah, that's their college, their show, their rules. So I get it.
Or actually, was it at a college? Wherever it was, but then that made me be like, okay, so maybe I'd rather have the pen. I don't know. It's a tough say. How do you do when you're in San Francisco?
I actually do pretty well now because I have my own group. I got my own people coming out. But in the beginning, it was touch and go. I'll tell you that.
I had a hard time in San Francisco because they went, oh.
Yeah.
And it made me sad.
Portland was similar. Portland
was
really? I
love
in the
Portland.
Beginning, I love them now because now they're pushing back. Now they're like, we know we're known as these compost, fucking hippy dippy weirdos, but now we're going against it because we know that's our rep.
I love I opened for Louie CK in Portland one time.
Whoa!
I know, and he said that's where he got recognized more than any other place, which surprised me because he fits in Portland. Like he'd be hard to recognize there because he looks like a local there.
Right. Yeah, bald, schlubby guy with a beard.
It was awesome. It was like, and then afterwards, Joe, since him and Joe are really friends.
Yeah.
And I was so glad Joe was there too because I felt kind of nervous talking to Louie, so it was nice to have it. Joe just made me more comfortable. But after one of the shows, Joe invited Louie to go to a bar show.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe he's inviting him to this. And he's like, I treat him like a normal person. And then Louie came to the bar show.
Oh yeah.
And we went to it
exactly
in black SUVs, and we got up, and it was at an arcade, and the bouncer didn't recognize him, and he asked him for ID, and we all just stood there like. And then and then he gave him the ID, and he goes, "It's $5 for everyone. The show's almost over." And then Louie was like, "Yeah," and he looked at it, and he was like, "Yeah," and then he paid for all of us, and then we went in, and the manager ran out like, I'm so sorry." But then Louie had Joe go up first.
Yeah.
wait, he went up first. Everyone went fucking nuts, and then Joe went. Then he had Joe go on.
How great is it? What a special moment. That's fucking amazing.
It was a special moment. It was, and I remember running into I ran into this a lesbian comic that I know there, and so we said hi, and then I told Louie, I said, we know each other from comedy. I didn't just walk in here and know her because she's a lesbian, and he went, I don't care, and I was like, all right.
That's a pretty good line.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want him to think, I don't know what it was, but so you opened up for him too?
Yeah, we had a similar thing. I was opening up for his Netflix special in DC,
Whoa.
I guess in 2017 or whenever that was.
Wow.
And it was fucking amazing. I was with Joe, who's like one of my best friends. So I'm with Joe and Louie, and this is pre-Me Too shit. So he was like the guy. So I couldn't believe what I was doing with my career and all this shit. And I was in awe of him, and I was nervous too. And him and Joe are so tight. So I was just like, I'm stupid. I can't think of anything to say. You guys are funny. But either way, we did the DAR, which is this giant arena. It's where they filmed Delirious, I think, and Robin Williams, and one of Chris Rock's stuff. It's like this famous theater in it's 5,000 seats. It's beautiful. It's old school. And yeah, we did the show, and it was great. And then we're like, oh, we know of this basement that does comedy called The Big Hunt. I know the guy who runs it. Great room, dingy, little hole in the wall, under a bar. Yeah, it's killer.
Love it.
It's like what comedy is all about. And we said we're going to go do it. And he was like, I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of tired. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then last minute, he's like, fuck it, let's do it. So this guy went from doing 2 5,000 seat shows to getting into a black car, driving there. And yeah, he went on, and it was fucking, the place went insane. And word got out that he was going to come, because I think maybe I told some people. And so there was a line around the block, and they carded him too. They charged him just like that.
They carded Louie?
Yeah. Well, they didn't card him, but they charged him.
So they didn't, when you got there, the bouncer didn't know it was him?
No idea. I mean, it's just some like young black guy who,
right.
You know, probably gets laid every night and doesn't watch a lot of you know, high end stand up.
Right.
But yeah, so it was super cool, and Louie shook people's hands, and then we got the hell out of there and had dinner and watched Suicide Squad and made fun of it.
Did Joe call the guy and say he was coming first, or did you guys just show up?
We called and he said he might show up, no promises. And then he showed up. So it was a magical moment. I have many photos of it.
Did he go on before you guys or after you guys?
I think it was me, Joe, Louie, and my friend Chris Allen went on at one point to buy time, because we were like, we're in the car, we're in traffic, you got to go on, because they kept trying to end the show.
Right.
And then we put Chris on, and he did like an extra 15 or whatever, and then we got there.
But Louie went on after you and Joe?
He went on last, thank God.
Yeah, because he went on before Joe, and it didn't seem like it was something he really thought out. He was just, I mean, they were really like two quote unquote normal people. I mean, he was like, Joe, do you want to go on, or should I go on? And then Joe was like, I don't care. And then he was like, I'll go on now. And then he went on, and it was there weren't even a lot of people there, and they're playing the arcade games, so you could hear like bing, 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 bing. And then he went on, and that all stopped. Everyone went nuts, and then they kind of wanted to leave. You know, they wanted to follow him or be near him after he went on. While Joe was on, and then I didn't go on. I chickened out.
Oh, come on!
Really? I know it. Yeah, and that actually stuck with me, because I was like, do I have a fucking problem where I don't want it bad enough? I had a good set, and I didn't want to then be in front of those 5 people that have now been, because it was like full. Louie goes on, murders, people leave, Joe, and people are talking and being really rude, and I was like, I didn't go on.
Yeah. Well, you know, at least you were there, and you're still open for the guy.
Oh, and I made up for it, because I've been doing Zoom comedy shows, so now I know I fucking want it. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I hate the Zoom, but I'm trying to do some too, and I got to tell you, they're crushing my soul, because I'm forgetting my act. I'm like, I feel like the guy in the Back to the Future photo. I'm like fading away.
Are you doing new jokes on them?
Some, yeah, because I think I got something in the works.
Great.
Something cooking, and
awesome.
I'm trying to like be ready for when it opens up again. I don't want to like be super out of shape comedy wise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. I did one that was really fun, and then that made me. It just felt, I don't know, felt really good to do.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I got a cash money trivia question for you.
Oh, all right.
But before I do that, I want to ask one other thing. Oh, this is
All
funny. I wrote down to ask you first time eating ass 3 times.
Oh, good. Well, I don't know the pinpoint exact
You
one. But
covered it.
I think I know the gal if I can. It was a cute Jewish gal in Brooklyn, if I'm correct.
That's how they do it.
And
So they do it.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was kosher, but I had a good time.
This was the other. Oh, this was a. Let me see. All right. Okay, this is the cast money trivia. I have one other thing. Do you lie a lot in relationships?
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to. It was like a religion, and now I've gotten way better with therapy. But I've cut back quite a bit. But I used to lie all the time, and lies for no reason. Like, oh yeah, I read that book, I loved it. And I never even heard of the book.
Yeah, just to kind of. I actually do that too. I do it less. I'll catch myself. If I say a lie now, I'll go, I just lied. I actually did that right before we went on lockdown. I was in a green room and I was talking to 2 comics. I was at the Cellar in Vegas and I said, someone said they did something. I go, me too, man. And then I went, I just lied. And they both were like, what?
Yes. Same.
Why would you lie about that?
I think it's an insecurity thing. I think if I say I didn't read the book, they'll like me less. I'm like, oh, if I read that, now we have a bond,
Right.
Even though I never read it.
Right. We got a thing.
Yeah. But I would do a thing. I like being alone a lot.
Me too. I recharge that way.
Yes, same, exactly. And my gal is a big extrovert. Like she's like, where are you? Come over. Let's hang out. I'm dying over here. I'm so bored. I'm lonely. And I'm like, oh, I love alone time. But
me too.
I would fly in from a gig and I'd be like, oh, the plane lands at 8 and I will, then I'll come straight to your house. But it actually landed at noon and I had a few hours to recharge.
I think that's a lie you actually might need to tell to help the relationship. That's
all right.
I think that's a self-care thing.
Yes, for sure. But if she found out, she'd be pissed or hurt.
See, I relate to that because I'm like a people pleaser too. So I'd want to be like, or I don't know if you are, but that's something I could see. I'm in therapy now too. I could see doing to be like, I'm going to see you right away, but you still want to see her right away, but you need a minute.
Yes, exactly.
Otherwise you'll snap at her.
Completely, yeah. Then you'll start to resent her, and you're just like you're not full yet. Like, oh, I gotta get it together before let me brush my teeth and wipe my ass before I just go straight to your house.
I wonder why we would feel uncomfortable telling the person that we needed that time though, because that's not a weird thing to ask for. To say, hey, I'm gonna need a minute, and then I'll come right over.
I think because they could take it personally really easily. Like, whoa, you don't want to see me? Like, well, I got to brush my hair and take a piss. And they're like, well, just take a piss here. And you're like, you don't get it. But they take it personally. Yeah,
I wonder, I'm trying to have more faith in, like, I've been working on that with relationships. Like, I went to go visit my girlfriend now in LA and I took a red eye in. I was only there for 2 days. And I was like, I'm in town because I'm doing a acting class. But I was really just doing the acting thing because I wanted to see her. She drops me off at the class. I get anxiety. I don't go in. I leave. I go to an AA meeting and I call my therapist and she goes, so what are you going to do when the girl asks how the class was? I'm going to tell her it was really good, but I didn't study the lines and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, why would you lie about that? Why don't you just tell her you didn't go? And I was like, I can't do that. And then I did. She said, how was that acting class? And I paused and I went, I didn't go. I got overwhelmed. And she was like, oh, cool. Didn't care.
See, they don't care. We build this whole thing up in our brain and no one really gives 2 shits. Yeah. We're all going to die one day,
Exactly. I'm sure if you were like, I just had to lay down, it'd be a really, I don't know. What was your very first date? Do you remember it?
I do. It was pretty sad. It was a triple date. And my friends both had these gals that we're trying to make out with. And they were like, we got a friend for you. So they'll bring a friend. And of course, they brought the hideous plus size lady. And
you didn't see a picture first?
No, it was it was back when a picture was like a thing. You had to mail a photo or a Polaroid.
How old were you?
I'd say 13, maybe 14. And it was brutal. We went to see a movie. I think we saw the movie Kingpin. And then, and then I put my arm around her at one point, and that was a big move. And I think we made out.
Nice.
But I mean, she would have made out with anything at that point. She looked like John Goodman.
Why'd your friends do that to you?
They were just trying to get laid themselves. So they were like, you'll figure it out. Just help do us a solid. Trying to be a good wingman.
How different did she look than her friends?
Way different. Night and day. Night and day. It was like a before and after photo of a weight loss ad.
She's about to we got to bring her, otherwise she's gonna eat us when we get back. You gotta fucking
that's
feed the
what
beast
she
to
sounded
Mark.
like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, this is the all right. First of all, it was harder to find Cash Money trivia than I thought. I thought that it would be everywhere because Cash Money. I used to want to be in the music business when I was little, like in Maine. That was my dream to do A&R. I didn't even really know what that was, but that was my dream. And I followed Birdman and Manny Fresh obsessively to see how they did it. Yeah. Because they're businessmen, how they did what they did. Because Birdman, I liked Hot Boys. I liked the music. It wasn't quite as pop. I usually like more pop, but I remember first hearing Bling Bling and then saying, who the fuck is that with Birdman? And then seeing how much money he would make. And I was like, what's a joint distribution thing? How does this all work? I was obsessed with the guy. Wow.
I can't believe a little blonde lady in Maine was into Cash Money Millionaires and the Hot Boys.
Isn't that crazy? I was obsessed. Like, I ended up interning at a hip hop recording studio. I'm going to put that in quotes because it was like, but in Boston, because I remember it was Birdman, Manny Fresh, and then I started seeing how Master P was doing stuff, and then Jermaine Dupri, and I was like, okay, these guys aren't the rappers per se, but they're making so much money. What the fuck is going on?
Right. They're producing and they got labels. They're like entrepreneurs back in the day.
Yeah, and I read a book from this music video girl who had sex. I think it was with Manny Fresh, and I wanted to read about it.
Really? He was the ugly one too.
Yeah. Wait, was it? Fuck.
I think.
Yeah, no, he was.
I forget. Like overweight.
Yeah, I forget what she said about having sex with him though.
Well, I'm sure they cleaned up in the late 90s.
Of course, they were huge. That's why you would think. Because did you know about them before they popped? Like, there must have been a strong buzz.
Huge buzz. I mean, and that was right in my high school years. So it was
right.
We would blare them in the car and we would go see them. You'd see them at like, functions and stuff, like big events.
Really?
They'd be the musical guest. And like Lil Wayne.
So you've seen them live? You've seen them live?
Oh yeah. I saw Lil Wayne at the mall. He was like a little cute kid. He was like 4'1" and skinny, and he was Lil, he was tiny. He was like a little 8-year-old rapping, and he was good.
You saw him perform at the mall?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, but we didn't know anything of it. There was a lot of cool local shit when I was a kid, because New Orleans is such like a arty kind of city.
Right.
So there'd be I was in plays when I was a kid. You'd see a bunch of music. There was all these rock bands that were local. Few hit it big. Better Than Ezra is from New Orleans. We had a couple. And so it wasn't that weird, but I didn't know they were going to blow up like that. Like Juvenile, remember him?
Blow up. Did you like doing the plays?
Sure. I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I like being on stage. I like being expressive, and I hated school and all that. So it was fun. All my friends made fun of me, but I had a good time.
So you weren't a shy little kid, or were you shy and then you just weren't when you were on stage?
Exactly. For some reason, the stage, I felt way safer. And I don't really like acting that much, if I'm being honest, but I didn't know about stand-up then. I didn't know about, SNL really. So that was the closest thing to that I could get to, I guess.
Yeah, and the stage is a little bit removed too.
Yes, exactly. You can't get hurt when you're up there, and you're doing make-believe, and people watch it. It's such a crazy concept.
Okay, this is the Cash Money trivia question, which I was shocked that I would have thought there would have been Cash Money trivia for hours, because that's how famous. Maybe maybe Google doesn't know how to do that algorithm with me because I haven't looked them up in a while, but okay.
Yeah.
Where did Juvenile shoot the video Ha?
Whew, Jesus Christ. Was it the Magnolia Projects?
Yes!
Get out of here.
No, that's correct.
Wow. I grew up pretty close to there. Wow, I can't believe I got that. Back that ass up.
Which Cash Money rapper oh fuck, I didn't write down the answer to it though. Which Cash Money rapper invented the term bling bling? Wait, I remember.
Was it what's that kid's name? Pocket full of fur. Hello.
BG?
It wasn't BG.
They said it was Lil Wayne, but actually I bet it wasn't Lil Wayne. I bet it was someone else and then he was saying it. Not that he was taking it, but I bet I would think that someone invented it pre him.
I think it might have been BG because he was a little older and he wrote a lot of it.
I loved him.
Bling bling, that took over the world. That was like it just became part of the vernacular.
Sure did. And then I think BG went to jail for heroin.
Oh, look at that.
Pretty sure he had some heroin struggles, but Mark, where can people find you online and find your comedy special?
Wow.
Second
all
one.
right.
I know you got more. I know you got more than one.
Good interview, by the way.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
I can't wait to. When's this come out?
A week, 2 weeks.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's see. My special's out on YouTube right now. It's called Out to Lunch, and it's climbing the ticker, baby. We got some real views cooking.
Woo!
And yeah, it's called Out to Lunch. Just put that in, or Mark Normand into the search bar. I got another special on Comedy Central Digital that about 8 people saw. This one has more views in a day than that one had in 4 years.
What the fuck? But part of that too is they don't make it easy to find the fucking specials on Comedy Central Digital. Whoever is doing the interface on that, whatever like hipster that wanted to do stand up and didn't, so then they ended up just working there. Did not. You can't, or maybe not. Maybe it's a great person. I apologize and take that back. But
no, you're right.
It was really hard to find the specials.
It's brutal. It's behind 8 paywalls. You got to Google this and tweet that. It's like this maze of tech bullshit.
Yeah,
yeah. Even people who want to see it can't find it. I'm trying to help people. Like I gave up, man. I tried for 2 hours. I'm like,
yeah. I tried to buy. I tried to buy yours. I tried to find Dan Soder's once. Couldn't. It was too tricky. And I was happy they made Roy Woods Jr.'s. If I buy the specials, I usually will I like to watch them as much as I can, but Roy Wood Jr.'s they made easier to find, but other than that, it was fucking.
It's a nightmare, and they wonder why they're floundering a little bit, and everybody's moving to different platforms. But hey, nobody would buy it, so I just put it out myself. And yeah, I got a podcast with Joe List, Tuesdays with Stories, and I got the Twitter, the Instagram. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And praise Allah. Thanks for having me.